Alright, so what I was going to do is I was going to watch this live. I was going to have a stream. I was going to stream it on my usual platforms. I had that all set up. And what ended up happening is I fell asleep, which is kind of par for the course for me on Friday afternoons at this point. Between when I'm not busy, when I get home, it's nice to just kick back a little bit and not really do anything too ridiculous. So I basically clocked out. I totally forgot that the live letter was tonight because, to be honest, I think I missed the last live letter, or if I didn't, it's been a long time, or it just wasn't a good time for me to do it and I just didn't bother with it. So I'm going to keep this brief. I went ahead, they're still live now. It's a 14-hour, I think this is the, special 14-hour broadcast. It's a fair bit. Oh, fuck, did I skip pack? Yeah, they played Mahjong a bit. But I basically said it's not worth it for me to sit here and basically stream this, because by the time I'm done pressing play and recording this, I could already have been done. So we can just start. We can actually even just comb through some of this just to see when do we get to the part about the actual live letter, which I know is translated. So I think this is a Doman Mahjong set that they're trying to sell. I refuse. I can't play Mahjong. It's not for me. There we go. I think, right? Let's see. Is this live translated? Just to kind of jump into it at an awful place. I have been playing Shadowbringers, but we don't raid Savage anymore. My static is pretty much done. We accomplished everything we needed to accomplish, so everyone went off and did their own thing. I was in an ultimate static for a bit, but then I had to withdraw because of personal, real-world obligations, so that was fun. And, yeah, other than that, I've been busy with school. But now I'm going to start doing actual stuff again, so that'll be fun. That includes playthroughs. I'm actually so deep in the playthrough hole, it's hard to even think where to start to begin to get out. But I guess anywhere is better than not doing anything every day. So I think tomorrow, and I say this every fucking day, tomorrow I'm gonna fucking do something about it. I don't know. I don't think this is live translated. So we can... shit. Okay. It's like right there. So they've officially reached 18 million adventurers, which I'm pretty sure is just counting, which is... It could mean something, it could mean nothing. I'm sure that a lot of games have millions of accounts. I don't know if that's counting suspected RMT accounts or whatnot, but it is what it is. Actually, let me check something. Fuck me, where is this? There we go. Move this. I know it said audio will be available in Japanese only. Yeah, I guess that answers the question if there's live translations. I don't know. At least there's English, right? It could be worse. Alright, so in patch 5.18, they're uncapping Eden's Gate and Eden's Gate Savage. Let the full slide come out. The only cap that remains on Eden's Gate Normal is for the Titan 4 Blade of Early Antiquity. That's the only cap that remains there. Eden's Gate Savage is just, what's the word I'm looking for? Eden's Gate Savage is just any gear, I think, right? So you could just do whatever. You don't need progress. The Solvent will be purchasable, so you can upgrade Deep Shadow weapons to 450 or 470, and that's pretty much the end of that. This is the typical stuff, and I actually, spoiler alert, I saw ahead. This patch comes out December 24th, apparently. because 5.15, which is the blue mage stuff, just came out this Tuesday, so I guess I'm doing a black and blue stream. I have never beaten Azul Magia though, so I fucking quit. That day where I did the 13-hour blue mage stream, I basically never did anything with it again. I even play it after like a month. I forget that class even exists, honestly. Much like Eureka. I actually feel bad. I would love to spend some time in Eureka. You know, now that I've had a few months off, I kind of miss it. Because Eureka was actually fun in a very dumb way. Maybe part of the problem is that I waited to do 3 tiers of Eureka back to back, and that kind of was not the best. But I just don't think it's well designed. It's not like I suddenly think it's an amazing piece of content. Nobody really says that I'm aware of. It's a time sink. And now you can't even get enough people to make doing half of these areas even worthwhile because people are off, you know, fucking doing something else. Eureka was at its peak because there was nothing else to do. Now that there's other things to do that are more contemporary, it's not worth it. Nobody does it, and that's truly a tragedy. But yeah, this was about the part when I woke up, and I'm like, oh, fuck me, I missed like 30 minutes of this, didn't I? It's actually the first slide, pretty much. It's not really I think this was a rather short live letter. I think this was more for the 14-hour broadcast. They just had a live letter and then some other stuff. They got some of the Eorzean Symphony later on, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's skip way ahead. Oh my god. You know what? It's 5 seconds at a time, to be fair. Okay. Echoes of a Fallen Star. I didn't see this. This was the part where I was panicking to try to throw the stream together. So wait, what's this patch called? I don't even remember. Oh, Vows of Virtue, Deeds of Cruelty, which is a Nier Automata thing, believe it or not. I thought it had something to do with Final Fantasy XIV. It really didn't. It's referencing Nier, some swords in Nier. So mid-February, I think they're like a month slightly slanted compared to Stormblood, because I think that patch 5.2 for Stormblood was like 4.2 was like. No, it's about the same time. Let me check. Because I was the one with Kefka. Jan 29th. Right? What was this updated Monday, May 14th? What the hell? What changed? Oh, you know why? Because Tsukuyomi stuff was happening. When did this patch happen? I'm just gonna say it was like the beginning of February. It's whatever. Who cares? Something like that. Sadly, I'm like the only person in my group of friends who actually still plays this game. I'm also the only person who insists on watching these. Honestly, the Reddit post that's going to come out in like an hour or two is going to pretty much summarize all this perfectly. And I actually think that for a lot of things, Reddit is a good tool for that. Like, there's that one Twitter account that does the Glamour Report. It's pretty nice. Anamnesis Anider. I'm never going to say that again properly. Which is kind of crazy because we already have Academia Anider. So it's more stuff in Amarat. I'm imagining that this is a part of the main scenario. Because they're trying to do that so you can't like miss dungeons. But this is an even numbered patch, so it'll be 2 dungeons. And obviously there's new main scenario stuff, new instance duties. That's you expect that. That's just how this game works. I don't really need to read that out too much. Oh, this is gonna be the new Oh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. So they're not even gonna add 2 new dungeons per patch. Wow. That's pretty rough. So we went from Heaven's Ward getting 2 every patch to Stormblood getting 1-2-1-2 alternating. I forget if it was, no, it was like 2-1-2-1. Yeah, something like that. And now we just get 1 dungeon every patch. That's, I really wonder what caused all this. They are, I don't know. These roulettes are going to be slim pickings. So what's the expert roulette going to be? And Omnisis and the other one, Grand Cosmos 24/7. That's going to be rough because I like the way the 80 roulette is right now. I actually liked it before we had Grand Cosmos. I don't like Grand Cosmos that much. But why? I really wonder legitimately what's causing them to drop 1 dungeon, or down to 1 dungeon, I should say. That's. I'm not a huge fan of the lack of new dungeons, because that's kind of the thing that keeps the roulettes a little bit less bland, in my opinion. But now they're just gonna drop that, so whatever. Fuck it. This one's gonna have the raid though. So this is a what is it? Yeah, this is gonna be Eden. Actually, I don't even know what it would be after Eden's Gate. New tribe quest, the Qatari, focus on gathering. I have no clue what the Qatari race is. Not sure if that's an alternate name because it's on the first. The only gatherer I still have to level up is Fisher. So, I mean, I'll probably have that to 80 by then unless I really, really, really don't care. Hey, get the fuck out of here. Because I hate fishing. It's not even a thing about this game. I just don't like fishing in any game. Oh, aren't those kobolds? I don't remember what they are. No, those aren't kobolds. Those are those weird things that like only exist in Lenosia or something. I don't remember. And then they disappeared. Like stuff that's not even relevant in 4.0 and beyond. I mean, you know what? They're setting the standard probably lower, so they could bump it up in the future, but I doubt it because it's only been pushed down twice in the time I played this game. So instead of getting double dungeons, which I thought was one of the coolest things about this game back when I played in Heaven's Ward, you just don't, you get 1. So this patch kind of, I don't want to say it doesn't really have much else to it then. I was really looking forward to that double, the double dungeons, because that's kind of the one thing I like about the even numbered patches is you get the new raid tier, and then you get 2 dungeons, and the odd numbered ones like usually end up being shorter, and then that's it. You don't really do much with it afterwards. I think that's Ruby Weapon. Someone in one of my Discords said that. So more shenanigans with Gaius. I guess Gaius is going to get involved with this, and this will be the new trial. Oh yeah, that's right. There is going to be a new trial. Yeah, the evens are the trials, right? No, there's a new trial every patch. Yeah, that's the one thing that they still do. Yeah. No extreme trial every time. Because there's 5 expansion patches, the Ruby Weapon and the Ruby Weapon Extreme. I have to farm fucking Hades. But thankfully you only need to beat Hades 50 times. And I need to just remember what I have to do with it. Because I haven't done it since I did it with Tinja and other people.
うしてもねその印象が僕は
Ruby weapon extreme.
でなんとですね、新たな討伐討滅戦に今回まあこれが
Is that? Oh, my Switch is on.
でまあこれは
I didn't even know.
ちょっと違ったコンテンツを1個どうぞ。もう1個あるんですよ。
Secret.
討伐討滅戦としてはもう1個ある。
もう1個ある。ただこれ
シークレット。
そう超絶ネタバレなので。
なるほど。
So because I'm more or less kind of busy with everything. Speaking of secret stuff, I'm gonna wait until like either this summer to do an ultimate, or maybe like sometime in February or March. It depends how far ahead I am with this should be the new tier. Yeah, Eden's Verse. Okay, Eden's Verse Savage. I'm gonna wait to see how far along I get with recording other stuff, and then I'll go from there. Because I can't pace myself based purely off of how much I do or don't know. Because I tried doing it this time and too much stuff got in the way. It kind of fucking sucked. And that's life. You never have enough time to do the things you want to do, and then you get to die at the end of it. So this is keeping with the themes that we've been going with so far. I imagine that this is like Ramu. Because there's a lot of lightning. I mean, would you imagine I can match those kinds of patterns and themes? It's pretty fucking sweet, dude. I like how every arena in existence is always a square or a circle. I think raids are usually... No, Kefka wasn't a box, it was a square. Yeah, none of those were. They're all circles. Oh, man. I'm trying to think. What other shit did they have for... What raids have been boxes besides E1? And E3? Oh, Mig or Summer. I don't know, it's random. It's always a box or a circle. We need a raid arena that's a triangle. Just to completely throw everything off. But you might not have enough space to stand on a triangle. You know what? We should get a hexagon. That'd be fucking amazing. And yeah, for the background of this slide, I actually did salvage the setup I had for E3, but I changed it. If I can... Okay, let me totally not fuck this over. Where is it? I changed it. I put Amarat behind it because you know what? That is an amazing screenshot. And I actually have some of the other ones as 4K wallpapers because someone posted them, which is really nice. I do have audio bringers behind this, but that's not what people are here to see anyway. I should use this for all my Final Fantasy streams instead of what's the one I usually use? I need to stop streaming Final Fantasy in the first place. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I'll figure it out later once I actually record something again. I'm guessing they're keeping the upgradable equipment secret because they don't want people to know what to craft a whole bunch of and then completely either devalue or shoot through the fucking roof in terms of pricing. Because if it's craftable equipment, it'll be invaluable on raid day 1. Meanwhile, I'm struggling over here to not go below 26 million gil. Story focused around Boscha Citadel, home of the Hrothgar. What, on the source? I'm guessing? I thought we weren't going to get content on the source, really. I'm okay with it, though. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. I'd like to go back to Ivalice. Like, not necessarily literally the same places. Oh, maybe this is the Relic. This might be the Relic, speaking of upgradable equipment, because I'm thinking greens. Well, that's the Relic. Wait, hold on. Go back. Story will continue in future updates. I imagine that this is the Relic, because the Relic should be coming out around this time. Because we've heard no news about the Relic. So, are they ditching the Relic, maybe? After Stormblood? Because Stormblood's relics are forever tainted by being linked to Eureka, which you can no longer salvage. Like most other relics currently, before we get to this, because I know I'm going to want to talk about this, most other relics currently right now, they're linked to some amount of redoable content. So like if you want to do a Zodiac weapon, you do shit in the overworld, you can do it by yourself at this point. You know, like going into the different areas. If you're a high level, you can just walk past the enemies until you get to the chest. It's more of a time waster than an actual difficult expenditure. I mean, that's kind of what a relic is. It's just a time waster. So, for instance, I got all the animal weapons. I have all of them, 14 of them. It is 14, I think. I'm not going to count right now. Let's just pretend that that's all of them. I'm pretty sure I have all of them. There's no checklist in the game for getting all the animal weapons, I don't think. Maybe there's a trophy list, but there's no, like, accumulated trophy list saying you have 10 out of 14, or I think it might be 15. But you can get all of those, right? And you could do that by, like, doing roulettes, by... Basically, the animal weapons are hoarding poetics. The Zodiac weapons are hoarding money and doing random stupid stuff that I fucking hate, but you know what, I'm almost done with it, so I can't really complain too much. The Stormblood weapons are forever tainted because you have to do Eureka to make any progress on them. There's no nerf that says, okay, well, you don't have to do Eureka, you could just do roulettes, do Stormblood activities, and you can grind it. You have to do Eureka, and you have to do asinine levels of grinding in Eureka to make progress. And I remember, because I'm gonna go back in time a little bit, to January of this year, when I started to really consider Eureka. I specifically said, we know 5.0 is coming. We know that when 5.0 comes out, people will not be doing Eureka. Eureka is dead content. It's not even fun back then, let alone fun now, let alone fun anytime. Eureka at this point is approaching its second birthday. Whenever early February or mid-February hits, Eureka is going to be 2 years old. And I remember pissing off a lot of people saying that back in the day. A lot of people in Discord and a lot of people other places. But I think the point still stands, is that people do not do Eureka. That's not to say nobody does Eureka, but Eureka used to have at least one full instance, and then a side instance that you can't really pick between, which I also hated. But it used to have a bunch of people, and every time I've gone into Eureka in the past, like, couple of months, because I've gone into Pagos and Hydatos in recent memory, like in the last month or so. I go in like once a week just to check it out, maybe catch it on like a Saturday evening or something, you know, when traffic should be the highest. And it's like 10 people. It's like, I think 20 people at most, but nobody wants to do anything with 20 people, so it's just 20 people sitting around in the base camp for Hydatos, just, I don't know, waiting for another 100 people to show up and make it worthwhile. Because a lot, like, I get that Eureka scales. It's not that Eureka scales that's the problem. It's that it's not soloable for the amount of ridiculous grinding you need to do. And lessening the amount of time and effort needed to make named monsters spawn, that's understandable, that's cool. But the problem with Eureka is the same problem it's always had, which is that the relics are tied to it. And if Eureka dies, so does the ability to get the relics. And I'm a completionist. I'm a completionist in any game I really like. That's kind of how I am. I want to farm to get these relics. But the biggest gate to that isn't like the Zodiac weapons where, oh, I need to figure out my time schedule to waste time and buy money or whatever. Because I have money. If it was a money issue, they could always just say, oh, well, just get more money. And I could just get more money. You can't buy frosted protean crystals. I think that one of the biggest nerfs that they need to make to Eureka is to Pagos, specifically the frosted protean. I think that there's 3 nerfs that they need to make across Eureka to make it at least a tolerable thing. Frosted protean crystals need to be converted from Pagos crystals, whichever the really abundant one is that you have like 1,000 of by the time you're done. They need to make that convertible. I don't care if it's 100, I don't care if it's 200, don't get ridiculous with it and make it like 500, but even then, like, at least it needs to be some reasonable conversion. Pyros kind of suffers from the same problem as Pagos, because they're both basically incredibly similarly designed. Flame crystals need to be convertible. Now, Pyros is a bit nicer about it. I think Pyros was my favorite zone to level in, just because it was pretty neatly compacted, and it wasn't terrible. Oh, by the way, now you can ride your mounts in Eureka at any level, so that was just to purely increase the playtime by making you walk back and forth and possibly get into fights that you can't win. That was just to increase the danger factor. That's been removed. But that's not enough to incentivize people to do Eureka, and the problem is that Eureka is just too much of a grind. And in a post-Shadowbringers world, it's just not worth it. But I've ranted about Eureka in the past, so I'm not going to... I'll leave it at that. That's the problem with Stormworld Relics, and why they'll be forever tainted on this game until they fix Eureka, which they might never. So they might legitimately never change it. I kind of made peace with that, like Blue Mage.
そして続いてはこちらもあります。
Oh, that's it. They just say there's going to be job adjustments. Well, I could have assumed that. Okay. Oh, good, PvP. I've actually been doing PvP lately. That's like the one roulette I run constantly for the glamour, the late Allegan stuff. And by the way, when I say things that should change and things that, you know, should be possibly would be in their best interest or in the content's best interest to change, it's just critique. It's just criticism. I don't hate this game. A lot of people think I hate this game for some reason. It's only the game I put the most amount of time in my life. I've done none of this. The art's nice. I wonder if the chat on Twitch still is spamming Male Vieira. I actually wonder. I'm not gonna check. It took me about 3 seconds to think I'm not gonna check that. I haven't done any of this though. I probably should. It's like I probably should start those fairy beast quests. But the one thing that I will give them is that they did do a lot of work on the crafting system. While I'm not a fan of overhauling stuff mid-expansion, I think that's because they basically completely upended, let's pause here, they basically completely upended the way crafting works in this game on a fundamental level. And it's kind of weird that they had this. I guess maybe they said that they were going to stagger how they were going to update crafting. I probably missed it, to be completely truthful with you. I probably missed it. I won't even front. I forget stuff all the time. It happens. But they did say that they were going to try to fix crafting to get people into it. They want to reduce the high gate that they have for this game that's been set. But, you know, like in terms of time investment. So, for instance, I've recently, you know, since I leveled all my battle classes to 80, I've been turning my attention towards my crafters and gatherers. And actually, there's something coming up that kind of is a big change. But I'll just say that I've been doing it so I can meld, so I can have the 80, so I can craft if I need to. Specifically gathering, because I think gathering is easier. It's just more time and attention consuming. Okay, I'll take that back. Gathering is more attention consuming overall. Like if I craft, I could just sit there. I mean, let's face it, most people do macros because that's just you don't fuck up with a macro once you code it properly or type it properly. But with gathering, I need to remember where I need to go, remember the rotation. You can't really macro a gathering rotation because it's RNG, how much like your appraisal will be worth and stuff like that. If you're just gathering materials to sell or to craft, then yeah, it's different, it's whatever. But for me, I'm still gathering to get white scripts, which are not capped anymore. Well, white scripts were never capped, they removed that, I think. And there's a huge barrier of entry that a lot of people have or an experience when they're trying to get into crafting and gathering. And that's one thing that they have been trying to alleviate. They don't want people to feel like they have to constantly be on the ball in terms of acquiring gear and crafting. And they've done a good job with that. It's just, it's weird to do it mid-expansion. but they completely overhauled it, and now we're kind of seeing the results of that, which I think is a lot of cool things have been added that make crafting a lot more fun. And Ishgardian Restoration is apparently a part of it. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin it. I could Google it. What the fuck?
はい
でこれが
今回皆さんに
Someone must be getting on.
これが
右手前側が
こうなりましたよ
まあ準備できました。
はい今我々はここまで来ました
はい。
ということでこう5点につながるわけですね
Okay, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna stream sometime this week. I gotta set up my stupid Wii.
まずですね
Yeah, it changes to Diadem.
今回リアルショットが申請
Believe it or
され
not,
ま
it
す
still exists.
というわけで、
はい
ギャザラー専用
Redesigned as content exclusively for gatherers.
ギャザラー島へ
I guess as part of the Ishgardian Restoration. Well, maybe there's hope for Eureka
見て
then.
いただきたい
ほうほうほ
はいで
Cruising level 10. You can enter from the firmament, and cerulean tanks will no longer be required. Yeah, they really want people to level gatherers. I was leveling my miner and my botanist, and I basically got them from 70 to 80 in about like 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours tops a piece. So within like a few hours, I was able to get my stuff up to the new level. So I mean, like it's not hard now. You do turn-ins. You what was I gonna say? You do turn-ins, you do leaves, and there's like one other thing you do. I can't remember. Collectibles, and then you just turn those in as needed, and then that's literally it. Gather from moving island to island. I've never done Diadem, I don't think. I think I might have done it once, maybe. We're talking about content that came out, fuck, like 4 years ago. Oh, no enemies, very nice. It's gonna be a chill game.
あそっかそっか危ないやつはやっつけられ
He
る
was gonna get to relax and not do anything.
最終景観を楽しみつつね採集をしていただければいいなと思います
いい世界
Yeah, I think they really want to overhaul.
各レベル帯でレベリングとか復興用のアイテムとかができるんでなんかその
Yeah, it's good for experience. They really want to overhaul the ARR leveling portion of the game, which is still I'd argue one of the vast time sinks of leveling in this game, is getting your characters out of the 50 into the Stormblood era, pretty much. Because a large chunk of your time is pretty much just spent leveling out of 1 to 50. And a lot of times it's very tedious, it's a lot of traveling and stuff. I mean, for people who've been doing it forever, you know, like me and a lot of my friends and guildmates, it's whatever, it's too late. But for new players, they don't want them to have to make that same kind of a judgment call. Is it a worthy waste of time? Is it a good usage of my time, or is it a waste? It's raining, by the way. I apologize. I also redesigned my room. I gotta make a new video for the channel for the new year. I'll do that later. I gotta fucking make a channel news, and I gotta actually start doing them because it's been like 3 years and I haven't done them consistently because I'm really good at this. I thought there were no enemies. Oh, maybe the enemies are all passive. That could be true.
やることが
An aetheromatic auger.
14の時石投げられたんです
そうね
So like maybe you throw it on them and then they drop like cool stuff. So everything's basically a pinata in the diadem. It's cool that the diadem still has new usage. I think that's good. I think having different ways to level prevents things from being stale. I think that's what really matters the most. Because especially with gathering, there's a reason why people bought it. Because gathering is just literally tedium. Yeah, you just hit stuff, and eventually if you have enough cordials or whatever, you just use that, and you could do some skills. That's why collectible gathering is more fun, because at least there's a bit of RNG to it. You know, they changed the way the timer works, so it's PM and AM don't matter anymore. That used to be annoying, I remember that. I used to spend a lot of time doing gathering back in 2016. New collectible items. Yeah, these are the hard recipes. I'm not sure what the items will be used for.
のレシピが、
Probably just to turn in for Ishgardian Restoration.
ちょっと待ってね。まず高難度
And there's going to be new statuses. Like I like that they are adding high end and low end stuff.
新式は新式。
正式は正式。
But goddamn, leveling my miner and botanist to 80 was ridiculous. That was intense.
あってもう詰め将棋のように一手ずつ何をして詰めていくかを考え
I
て
actually should have recorded it. I should have streamed it is what I should have done, but I've been on a complete break. I haven't done anything at all, period, for like the last month. I beat Luigi's Mansion. I didn't even upload the stupid videos for like 2 weeks. I just flat out didn't upload it.
はい
I literally was just sitting on my hard drive. And then like a week ago, I was like, shit, I really need to just push this stupidity out of here.
なんか一緒があるのに
Then I did.
あんまり意味が
I need to do verdicts on that and
まあこれ
what's
が
the
ですね
stupid thing
以前
called?
お伝えしていたスクラッチ
Fuck, Link's Awakening. I need to do verdicts on that.
まあ
I'll get to it. I just,
を
you know,
もらってですねこれでスクラッチ
it's
で
been a long week.
いろんなアイテム
Not
を
really. This week was actually kind of chill, which is why I'm here
な
now.
るほど。
いう感じあラヒって言うんです
ラヒ
This is kind of like what's that stupid thing with the book? I don't even remember what it's called. They added that literally a long time ago. Remember when the trailers used to have like story and all this weird stuff interwoven in it? Well, that was a lifetime ago.
そのまま言っていいですかはいここに対して
You get a ranking system.
してくれたプレイヤーさんを称えるシステム
なるほど。
How exploitable is the
これはもう
ranking
ガチ
system?
勢ランキングです
なるほどね。
クラフターギャザラーのクラスごとにランキングがございま
It's
す
the first thing I think about is how is something going to be exploited?
クラスごとに指定されたアイテムの
It might sound like an awful thing, but that's how a lot of people think, which is how they end up on top.
でただですね
Tabulated during a 10-day period after the update is
死んで
released.
しまう可能性がある
Oh my god. For real?
詰めすぎ。
10日区切って
I don't think it's that loud. Maybe.
そしてここでやろう。
はいもうなんかさチキンレースになんじゃんここで寝たら負けだみたいになっちゃう
I think it is that loud, maybe.
なるほど。
そこで
That's like the one unfortunate thing is I redesigned my room and my mic is
次
now.
の例えば 5.3
I gotta
シリー
fucking
ズ
do
に進
something
んだ
about
ら
that.
またランキングやりま
ああ、なるほどなるほど。
すなので今回決まったから
もう変わんないってこと
Not really sure what I'll ever do about that, to be completely honest with you.
始まるっていうのもあるので、
はい
まあこれはもうガチ勢名誉のための遊びですので、
はい。
あまり無理せずにお願いします。
で続きやります。どうぞ。
Results for each roll will be announced on the lodestone. Yeah, the lodestone already does some general stuff. Alright, I think we can half skip through some of this. Special titles will be added or rewarded.
それは
Other achievements and rewards will be granted. Okay, crafting, gathering, revamp. Let's kind of get a move on because there's not really too much to this, is there?
それからですね
No, we're at the end basically. I don't know how much more is left. What is this? Hour 20. It's like 10 minutes left.
予測機能を追加
Yeah. So what this is gonna be? I also got spoiled on this. Is part of the requirement for company crafting. What they're going to do, I think this is the fucking coolest thing ever, is that if you're crafting something now, you can pull up the skill simulator to basically show what each possible move you can make will result in. And I think this is kind of what we already have. Like, I know that they have this kind of tool somewhere for crafting. I think it's just something that people have in general. People already calculate this stuff, right? Like, they already go online, they post the macros on Reddit. But I think that they want to add it so it's in the game and you don't have to go to a third-party website to do it. I think that's what's better, in my
これ
opinion.
らを使ってさっき言ったコーナーのレシピとかに挑んでいただきたい
Yeah, I'm not recording tonight. I will finish that Pokemon Ruby playthrough. And Yoshi, I guess that's tomorrow. Unless I have something else awful to do tomorrow.
ではないんですけど、この手の機能で今もうなんか素材を集めてきて座らないと
So yeah, you can see that.
なんて試せない。
Which comes as a part of
なので
the crafting revamp because moves no longer have chances of working, and then you need to see how much the effectiveness is. A lot of it is really nice. Like, I didn't have to kill my macros too much, so that's pretty good. I'll just be skipping through the rest of this kind of because I once I saw how short this was, I kind of figured it wasn't really worth starting up the stream. Like I said,
噛み合ってないところがあるんで、まあこちら
the required level for the following fisher actions will be lowered: patience, precision, and powerful hook set. Fishing tugging animations will be easier to distinguish. All-purpose lure will be added. Sky steel. Oh, this is probably for is this relics for gatherers? It's a request for a crafter gather specified items to enhance these tools. Okay, okay, here we go. You know, we don't even need to go back. This is quick. So, I don't know how this will work. Maybe once an equipment spirit bond is maxed, you can spirit bond to make it, or what is it, convert? And that'll just remove the spirit bond, and then you can start re-leveling it again? I don't know how this is going to work, and they don't really explain it here, and I don't speak Japanese. Well, they probably do, I just don't speak Japanese. I don't know what he's saying. Here you go. Crafter class requirements for affixing material will be removed is a big one. So all you need now is to level up your preferred crafter gatherer, or I'm sorry, not gatherer, just crafter, and just meld whatever. You don't need to level up every single crafter anymore. If you just want to meld materia, just level up whatever you fucking want and call it a day. But I mean, I do everything, so I'm kind of a slave. I have no choice. I have to do it. That is pretty cool, though. Ocean fishing, fisher exclusive content, board a ship at specified times. I actually didn't see this. This is pretty lit. Receive experience in scripts based on fish caught. Meeting certain conditions while aboard will grant all passengers the chance of a big haul. Okay, a new Allegan tombstone will be added. Additional new game plus. Rank increase for free companies? Oh, okay. New courses in Leap of Faith. Fellowships can now be viewed. Umbrellas will be added. Alright, I think that's it. I think we're done here. I think they talk about the Eorzean Symphony. Yeah. What are they up to now? Are they raiding? Oh, the Mahjong set. Oh, okay. I don't know if we're done or if they're on break. I assume that they're on break. Where is this? Wait, where is it? Is it going to be everywhere in 20? Oh, I see. They're announcing like a new tour for it. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't travel anywhere. You can get a Wind Up Dulia Chai minion if you pre-order the art. I'm not gonna lie, the art for Shadowbringers is really nice. So that's actually not terrible, but I don't have $40 to spend on an art book. I think I'll pass on that one. Maybe. Considering I bought a $200 collector edition for this game, I'm pretty much screwed into this. But that's about everything I have for this. I mean, that's what I mean. I saw it was short. Like, they were basically ending right about a few minutes before I started recording. So it was kind of like, why even bother? Let's see. Are they up to snuff? What are they doing? Nothing. Dancing Plague. But yeah, no, the art is nice. I like it. The only thing I'm wondering is, like, what's going to become of the relic armor and the relic, weapons. Because they haven't really specified it. I'm assuming that's what the secret is. Honestly, I think a mixture of Zodiac and Anima is the best way to go. And having multiple ways to progress the relic was what was really nice about the Anima weapons. Stormblood relics are probably fucked forever. I won't say I have no faith. I just have zero faith that they'll ever change. I mean, it could possibly, because I want to collect them. I think that a lot of them look good, at least up to the Pagos. You know, the elemental weapons look cool, but like it's not worth it unless there's some Eureka Discord out there with like 1,000 members and you could get at least maybe like 30 or 40 of them together and actually do stuff in Eureka. I highly doubt it. That's actually a good idea for a Discord. That's actually a really good one based on data centers. That would actually be pretty fucking cool. But I digress. The point is that I have actually, to completely sidestep my own point, I have a whole bunch of games that I bought because I went to a store that sells old, oh my god, that sells old used games. So just to recap, I bought, what is it, 2 PSP games, which I have never ever, probably never will play, honestly. Well, one of them I did play. One of them is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, because I didn't own it physically. Now I do. It comes with the book and the game and the case. And inspired, and the only reason I bring this up, because I bought a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm not going to get into it. It's a bunch of GameCube games. Is I bought Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lions. So, yeah, this is basically a remake of Final Fantasy Tactics. It was, I'd say, the basis for the Stormblood 24-man, which I said specifically back then, I'd never played Tactics. I'd never played War of the Lions. If I ever wanted to play it, I'd play this version. Well, I don't know how I would record a PSP. I think that's kind of impossible, unless there's some cable out there or something, which is why I really hope this game gets ported. But at least I can say I own them. You know, I'm a museum collector, so... And like I said, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. I absolutely adore Final Fantasy. It's one of my favorite it probably is my favorite franchise, but I don't say that. It is one of my favorite franchises. Other than that, I guess, to go down the hall really quickly, I got Spyro the Dragon 1 and 3. For the PlayStation 1, I already own them. Skies of Arcadia Legends, which is, I actually wanted to test out some of these games, just because I want to make sure that they work before I commit to them and it's too late to return them. Let's see, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Naruto Clash of Ninja 2, which is a game I already own, Naruto Clash of Ninja 1, which is also a game I already own, right? I owned these way back in the day, and I think I had to rebuy them. Where are they? Yeah, I do. I already own these games. Whatever. Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. These are all GameCube games, by the way. Street Racing Syndicate, which is a game I didn't even know existed. And honestly, in a week, I probably won't even remember I own it if I don't put it in the thing I have. What else? Spyro Into the Dragonfly, my favorite, a top tier game. I have a long history with that game, and I'll probably never do a playthrough on it. And Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, because that's like the only Ratchet and Clank game I don't own. And I bought that Man vs. Wild for the PS3. I was there with How Original. It was quite a fantastic time. I also have other stuff, but I'm not going to get into it. And that's kind of it. I don't really have much else to say. It's not a bad live letter. I think the lamest part is one dungeon per patch is kind of stupid. I don't really get why we're getting less dungeons per patch. I couldn't imagine them having no dungeons in a patch. I feel like at least one dungeon minimum is almost required for it to be a patch. But at the same time, I can't imagine like what the reason behind that is. It's just kind of annoying. I don't know what else to say. Oh, so that means the Ruby weapon's gonna have a dragon, isn't it? Yeah, it's gonna have a dragon now. Let's see, anything decent on the Reddit? Yeah, here we go. Moving on, one dungeon will be added per patch. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy didn't win anything at the Game Awards. We got fucking cucked by Destiny 2 and Fortnite. I kind of saw Fortnite was gonna win its category. I mean, it's fucking Fortnite. But Destiny 2, I didn't see that one coming. For best community support. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can end this by going down the Reddit really quickly. I hope I don't have to edit this Okay, I kind of do. My bad. There you go. Maybe a little more. Yeah, there you go. Moving on, 1 dungeon will be added per patch. Is the cursor on? Yeah, there it is. I gotta click into the window to make the cursor appear. I gotta remember that sometimes. Like, you can see when I hit these drop-down menus, but I have to click to make it appear. Okay. Due to the current number of instance dungeons, instead of adding 2, they'll be adding 1 and focusing more on other playable content instead. Due to the current number of instant dungeons, there's only gonna ever be an increase of instant dungeons. I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. You're only gonna ever add more. Like, what is this game gonna be in 6.0 and 7.0? You're gonna have dungeons. Like, that's the main meat of this game, is to have dungeons. But yeah, I mean, I guess part of it is that, well, let me think about it. Did we really get anything else in the odd numbered patches? I felt like odd numbered patches in Stormblood didn't really have much to do. I can't remember if that's when they added the beast tribes or not, because it's been too long and I've maxed them all out and I don't care. I think the beast tribes were added in what? It was the Kojin, the Snake Ladies, and the Namazu, I think, were the last ones. I think the Namazu were added in the same patch as 4.3? I'm never going to find this out. Whatever. I don't care. I know that it was done around or before Final Omega, so which was September of 2018. Let's see. They're adding content for literally everything now. Hopefully they can... Oh, yeah, that is true. The primal weapons for new classes, that this is not going to happen. I can tell you right now. That's not going to happen. But, what they need to do is they need to add Zervan's weapons as craftable. They only are just now adding Sophia. They are literally like a full expansion and some change behind. I hope is a trial roughly on par above with the last normal raid tiers. I mean, isn't the average extreme trial now just basically a raid tier? I feel like that bridge is getting closed very quickly, to be completely honest with you. I hope that means the dungeons are of a consistently higher quality than, yep. Like more Eureka, because that's clearly in high demand. I feel so bad for Eureka, because I feel like in the right hands, with a few touches, it would be a great place that they could constantly add to. Every expansion have something new to it, and it would be something worthwhile to go back to and stuff. But unfortunately, it's just going to languish. Oh wow, the end of Windows 7 support is coming, and let me open this. Is this a Lodestone link? Yes. Square Enix support for the Windows 7 version of Final Fantasy XIV will end on January 14, 2020. Microsoft will no longer provide security updates or support, so they have found that continuing is a difficult problem. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, if Microsoft themselves is going to not add anything new for it, I mean, why should they feel obligated? I mean, that's asking for some exploit. Yeah, we will no longer be able to provide support for problems arising. Yeah, so... Oh, you'll be able to continue playing, but whatever happens to you fucking happens, is what they're saying. Okay. So they might be able to help you. It's a case by case, not guaranteed. Probably better to just upgrade. I mean, that's fair. I mean, honestly, the way I read it initially, I thought they were just done with that and they weren't gonna fuck with it. But they'll be nice if you can't get off Windows 7 for some reason. When did Windows 7 even come out? That was like 10 years old almost. God damn, I'm old. Work the game. I don't even know who that is. Relics won't really involve dungeons. Oh boy, I'm really spooked by the relic propositions. Well, ARR, you got 3 dungeons a patch? No wonder there's so many of those fucking dungeons. 2 dungeons for patch when the tier change made sense. Doing 2 more on odd patches never did. You know, its oldest out for expert. The oldest remaining dungeons will just get too power crept to even be fun. Yeah, that is actually true. You're gonna, assuming that it's the roulette is fair, which it isn't, but assuming that it's fair, you're just gonna have one dungeon that's gonna be completely outdated, and then one dungeon that's relatively up to date. But I mean, that kind of already happens anyway. Like, if you were to do Academia, or not Academia, what's the one? Amarat level syncs you, I think, or an item level syncs you. I don't think Academia and the other one, I can't remember right now. The twinning, I don't think they item level sync you, so you just basically blow through everything in that dungeon now. I mean, even if you only have like a couple deep shadows, maybe a few raid gear pieces and whatnot, you pretty much blow through everything. Like, even like I mean, the dungeons honestly are easy as fuck now. I don't know, I don't really count dungeons as being difficult content ever, because they're really not. I mean, it depends on your skill level, obviously, and how good you are at the game, but they're not meant to be difficult. The expert roulette is kind of just what they expect people to do. I'm gonna go for another 5 minutes. I'm gonna make this video like an hour and then I'm gonna dip. But like, the expert roulette is kind of just up there, and I think that I felt like in Heaven's Word, 2 dungeons per patch was pretty cool, because you had one that was for the story and then one for fun. And I thought that was like a cool dynamic. I can kind of get why they had to lower it for Shadowbringers, for Stormblood, because in Stormblood what they would do is you would have these really ridiculously crazy fucking raids. I mean, you could say that with Alexander, you know, but now that we have more of an emphasis on balancing out classes and whatnot, I mean, I could see the argument, I can agree with the argument that what is it? So you start at the 0.0, so it's 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. I think that was the ideal. I think that kind of worked out really decently. But yeah, nobody likes dealing with dungeons. I don't know about that. I like playing dungeons. I don't tank anymore in dungeons, because like I said ages ago, tanking is fucking brain dead. I'll do it maybe rarely to get a little bit extra credit for my tank titles, which I'll never use. Are they gonna do another Form of Eureka? I got to level 16 in that place and got so ridiculously bored. Yeah, this is pretty demoralizing. It's how I cap tombstones every week. I don't have a stack and I just poke the primal fights. Doing the expert roulette. I mean, you could still do the expert roulette. You're just going to be doing 2 dungeons in the expert roulette constantly. Unlike now where we have 4. I haven't capped tomes like... So, okay. I cap every week. I have to. It's not even that hard. It's pretty quick. Here I thought I was alone. Those people seem so content. Square length, square do this. I enjoy the expert roulette with my friends. None of us had the time or care to do Savage. And now it's going down to 1 per patch. Yeah, this is a thing that pretty much all my friends have done. They only come back for the story. Maybe like they'll sub for that one initial month, and then that's it. They leave and they don't come back. So actually, this guy is not totally off base. Like, at least you could say it's anecdotal for me, but it makes sense that people only really sub when there's a lot of new content or something big happens. So like, maybe the raid tier will come out and people will sub and they'll do the raid, and some of them will do Savage and some of them will, you know, whatever, do the ultimate or whatever. And you know, like, people will do it, right? And I mean, obviously ultimate was kind of a cost of having this stuff, which is fine. Especially since I'm the kind of fucking idiot who wants to do it and just figure that out. I don't know. I'll have to dedicate the time and the mental effort when I actually have time. Next semester, I'm pretty much free, though. Like, legitimately don't even have classes on like half the fucking week. So I'll be doing more recording and hopefully more ultimate, and hopefully other things that I need to do in real life. But like, yeah, the Alliance raids got longer. You know, they got a lot of cool stuff in them. I think that you can't really deny the quality of each Alliance raid is getting better and more in depth I think that the one thing that they need to bring back that was cool in Orborn was the voice acting. I thought that the voice acting was super cool. Like, pretty much voice acting in this game, I fucking love it. I think it's really cool. It adds an atmosphere to the fight. It gives an audio cue for different things that are happening. It's more interesting when they, and I'm going to talk overtime, so I'll be out in a minute here. I'm basically at the end. Once I'm done with this, I'm out. I like that they have that. I think that that's something they need to bring back. I'm tired of reading boxes of text in raids. I think that at the bare minimum, I think that Alliance raids and Expert should be voiced. I know some people make the argument that they shouldn't do it for Savage and Ultimate because that's distracting. I'd prefer to just leave that up to an option, maybe like a little checkbox. But even if they didn't do that, I'm fine with that. Whatever. But I feel like dungeons, quest dialogue, everything up to Expert, everything up to Savage, I mean, should be voiced. I feel like that's like generally pretty fun and pretty interesting. And if you're gonna voice a fight, and I've said this forever, voice all of it. Either voice all of the fight or don't voice any of it. I know that obviously things change last minute or whatnot, but it's just a nice touch. It's a nice presentational quality. I like it. I think that really is what adds a lot of replayability and fun to the fights, is that you actually kind of, it feels like he's not like, nobody throws boxes of texts at you. They say stuff to you. I like that about Seiryu, is that Seiryu, I think, is more or less completely voiced. That's why it's one of my favorite fights in the game, is because it's a cool fight. You fight a cool looking well, he's not really a primal. Well, you fight a cool looking boss, cool mechanics, nothing too ridiculous like Suzaku or whatnot. Yeah. Like, Nidhogg was voiced technically, so whatever. I've ranted about that long enough. A lot of the stuff I've talked about here, Blue Mage, Eureka, voice acting, less dungeons per whatever, the Relic, I've said the same shit for like a year, 2 years maybe for some of it. If it's not gonna change, it's not gonna fucking change. I'm kind of done ranting about it. I like, maybe I'll bring it up, I'll talk about it for 5-10 minutes or however long this is, and then that's it. I got nothing else to say. I'm not gonna fucking sit around like on my Eureka streams and talk about how shitty Eureka is and then miss it, honestly, which is the biggest heel turn. You see how substantial? Okay, what did you say? Welcome to limited dungeons content. The limited dungeons, the limitations continue. Limited job, limited races, limited dungeons. What's next? Oh, he got fucking score hidden. Are you serious? Wow, come on, that was hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Dude, that's actually good. I feel bad for you, Melon Water 4. You madman. You know exactly what you posted, and you knew it was going to get you fucked over on Reddit. You absolute unit. You fucking madman. That's it. I got nothing else to say. I'll upload this probably right away, and then just be done for the evening. So yeah, pretty sweet.